Hi, I'm Hyunjung Jang, and now I'm with Shannon Kringen, and she is multimedia artist.
My name is Shannon Kringen, and I'm a multimedia artist.
Yeah.
And I live in Seattle.
And what is a multimedia artist?
Well, I paint abstract paintings on canvas. I paint onto shoes. I do video performance art, body painting, spoken word, poetry, improvisational music on the piano. I kind of put it, and I do all that, and I put it all on my website. And then I have a public access TV show that I air in Seattle, and I put it on that too.
And what kind of art do you make for painting?
I paint very abstractly, and for about 20 years I've been painting onto my shoes, like wearable shoes and hats and backpacks, like wearable art. These are some hand-painted shoes I made. I call them Kringwear, and I use fabric paint and waterproof marker, and I kind of and glitter, and I combine them on heels and tennis shoes. I've also done these boots with fabric paint and marker and glitter, and then I've painted onto this jewelry box made out of wood with acrylic paint. And here's an example of a self-portrait photo I took of myself after I painted my face. And here is a backpack that I painted in my abstract style. And behind me on the wall is a self-portrait black and white photo I took in a fancy restaurant with really nice lighting in the bathroom. With lots of nice shadow. And my tattoo is my own design, which is to remind me to be myself no matter what. You know, if people think I'm weird or whatever, just be yourself no matter what they say, is what I like to say, because everyone is unique and special, and I think it's best if we all look within and trust our own unique way of being and just go ahead and express that, because the world needs everyone, I think. I like bright green, and I like Kelly green, like emerald bright green, and I like my jewelry kind of an opalescent, kind of a translucent opalescent moonstone type of a color.
So what are you doing usually in your spare time?
Seems like I'm always doing my artwork. If I'm not eating or sleeping, for a living I model for art classes, and so I do that a lot. And then I like to travel, write in my journal, update my webcam, my website. I love movies and music. Well, and with my photography, I do a lot of self-portraits, and I think I have a real love for taking self-portraits of myself in chrome, like with distortions, and I see that as like a metaphor for bending and stretching reality and bending the rules, kind of. Well, I was born in San Diego, California, and lived there till I was 9, and I'm an only child of divorced parents, and then from San Diego we moved to Whidbey Island, and then from Whidbey Island to Seattle.
How did you start to painting your stuff?
Well, my mom is a visual artist, and so I grew up kind of as a little kid sitting next to my mom drawing and coloring, and she encouraged me, and she had lots of colorful artwork on our walls, and so I've always been really attracted to color, and I think I've always just painted and drawn my whole life.
When I see your pictures, it is usually just you, not the other people. Do you have some reason?
Well, it could be that I am kind of preoccupied with myself, and I'm also kind of a little bit shy and awkward around other people, and I sometimes feel like I'm invading their space, and I know that when you take pictures of other people, you're supposed to ask their permission, and I don't always... It's easier if I take pictures of myself because I don't have to ask permission, and I'm not afraid of taking pictures. I'm not afraid of myself, so it's easier, more simple, and I'm just driven to do that. I also love to take pictures of animals, though. Landscapes and animals more than other people. So self-portraits, landscapes and animals, and buildings. I like to take pictures of buildings, too. I am left-handed, and I'm proud of it. And the only other person in my family that's left-handed was my grandmother, who's now passed away. But my grandmother told me that when she was a little girl in school, they used to slap her on her left hand and try to force her to write with her. They tried to force her to switch to her right hand, and she told me, they couldn't change me, they couldn't make me switch, and she was left-handed her whole life, and I'm left-handed too, and I'm happy that I'm left-handed. And they do say that left-handed people tend to be more creative because their brain is more, you're using both sides of your brain and more ambidextrous, and I also play tennis, and I know that's an advantage when you play tennis to be left-handed.
Do you like exercise?
I ride my bicycle a lot, and my dad used to be a tennis teacher, so I play tennis with him sometimes, and I walk a lot.
Could you describe your apartment?
Well, I live in a small studio apartment with hardwood floors and brick walls. I live in like a really old building, early 1900s building. I have Christmas lights that I turn on all year long because I like the festivity of that and the color, and I have like metallic butterflies on my wall, which kind of symbolizes transformation. Even though I don't really feel like I'm transforming, I like the idea of having a transformation in my life, and because I have a fear of change, but I want change at the same time. And I have just lots of candles and plants, and I burn a lot of incense, and I have basically my apartment is my art studio. I just basically live in my art studio pretty much.
And what is the most hard thing and most good thing to be a multimedia artist?
I think I would get bored if I just tried to stick with one kind of art. And I remember being 10 years old, driving in the car. My mom had a Volkswagen van, and we were driving. She was driving me to school one day, and I remember her telling me something like that I might want to focus on one kind of creative art project. And I remember telling her, even when I was 10, I don't want to do that. I want to do this and this and this. I want to I wanted to play piano, and I wanted to do visual art, and I wanted to write like stories and fiction. And so even when I was 10, I was multimedia. Yeah.
And what kind of story or fiction did you write?
I don't remember what I wrote about. I just remember that I got into like second or third grade. We had like a class in school where we were invited to write stories, and I just remember that my story was the longest. Like I wrote like a 10-page story. Like the other little kids wrote short little stories, and I just went on and on. I just remember thinking it was so fun to just make up a story, and it just kept going, and words just popped into my head, and it was just fun. I don't write short stories anymore, but I write poetry. And that just kind of pops into my head. Similar to when I play the piano, I mostly improvise, and so I just make it up. I don't know how to explain that. But
And could you tell me about your poetry?
Poetry, well, I do spoken word poetry, which is I call Kringen speak, and I just it's kind of musical, and some of the words rhyme, and I can hear it in my head, and then I speak it. Like it comes, I can hear it, and then I have to speak it. So it's like a musical kind of a thing. I don't know, I get a little shy about doing my poetry.
Why are you shy?
I don't know. It's like, that's kind of why I did my TV show, because I've always wanted to do a show, but I've always been afraid to do things in front of people. But I've always wanted to record myself and then show it to people. And so I found out you could do that on public access TV. You can like have your own camera, do your own thing, and then you can air it on TV.
Why are you a little scared to be in front of people?
That's a long story, but I think I'm kind of afraid people will make fun of me because I got picked on in school because I was kind of a different little kid. And also I think I feel a little bit ashamed and embarrassed that I like to be on stage. Like I like being on stage, but then I feel like I shouldn't like being on stage because it's like self-centered or something. So I just feel kind of, I guess, ashamed of that, even though I love it.